Hello YouTube, welcome to the turret in Goldsboro, North Carolina. Tonight we're doing the J1 turn, or Japan's first turn, of this Axis and Allies Anniversary Edition 1941 version between Captain Jack and Private Joe as the Axis and LT as the Allies. So for our purchases, we're doing purchasing one armor division for 5 and one bomber for 12. Okay, so for the first battle this evening, and we've got 9 on tap, but 2 of them don't include actually any combat, so they're combat movements without combat. But for the first major battle, we're bringing the 2 carriers that were in C-Zone 57 that were fully loaded with 2 fighters down into C-Zone 53. We're bringing the destroyer from C-Zone 51 that was off the Caroline Islands into C-Zone 53. And those units are going to be participating in a sea battle. Actually, it's going to be the 2 carriers, 2 fighters, and a destroyer against the American battleship. Okay, so we've got the battle set up on the battle board here. What we've got is 2 black dice, 2 black dice, 1 green die, and 2 blue, representing the Japanese attack. So we'll go ahead and roll that now. And 1 hit. So the battleship has taken 1 hit. Now the battleship will return fire, 1 red die. I guess we could have rolled all those together, but we didn't. So here's the battleship returning fire, and there's a hit. So the Japanese will decide to lose 1 destroyer in this battle. The Japanese will press on with this sea battle. So 2 black dice, 1 blue dice, and you can go ahead and put the red dice in there, Private Joe. Yeah, 2 black, 2 blue, 1 red. So the red will represent the battleship firing back. We got 2 hits, so the battleship has been destroyed, but the battleship also got a hit on its way out. So the Japanese forces will lose 1 fighter. So battleship, U.S. battleship has been destroyed. 1 destroyer and 1 fighter from Japan has been destroyed as well. All right, so for the land battle for Hawaii, we've got 2 infantry units from Japan and 2 fighter units going up against 1 infantry division from the U.S. and 1 fighter division from the U.S. So we can roll all these dice at the same time. So we can roll. Need 2 black in there for the infantry, 2 blue for the Japanese fighters, 1 green for the U.S. infantry, and 1 fighter for the U.S. fighter. So the infantry, Japan got 1 hit. Japan got 1 hit and 1 hit only with the black die. The U.S. infantry division got 1 hit. So wow, the U.S. fighter missed. So we've got the infantry division has been destroyed for the U.S., 1 for Japanese. So we're going to press that attack on. So 1 black die, 2 blue die for Japan, and 1 red die for U.S. Wow, the fighter missed again. Unbelievable. All right, so the fighter division for U.S. has been destroyed. Hawaiian Islands are now territory of Japan. So for the next combat move, a transport from the Caroline Islands is going to bring 1 infantry division down to the Solomon Islands and take that with no resistance. Next combat move, we've got 1 transport from C-Zone 61, traveled 2 spaces down to C-Zone 49, coast of Borneo, dropping off 2 infantry units and taking that with no. The next major battle is for the Philippine Islands. So we've got 1 battleship, Japanese battleship, 1 cruiser, 1 carrier with 2 fighters, and a transport from C-Zone 61 is going to come down to C-Zone 50. attacking one U.S. destroyer. So we've got the battleship, the cruiser, are going to be attacking the destroyer and the transport, the American transport. And then on the amphibious assault, we've got the two fighters and the infantry and artillery unit for the amphibious assault. Okay, so we've got it set up here. I failed to mention, I don't think I mentioned that the aircraft carrier is actually involved in the sea battle as well. So we'll be able to roll all these dice at the same time again. So we've got one black die for the carrier, one blue for the cruiser, one red for the battleship, and one green for the U.S. destroyer. Go ahead, Private Joe. And we've got a hit by the battleship, a hit by the cruiser, and a hit by the destroyer. So, destroyer's obviously been destroyed. One hit by the destroyer will take a hit on the Japanese battleship. I also failed to mention from that last battle, since that the American destroyer was destroyed, the transport that it was protecting was also eliminated. Okay, so here is the land battle for the Philippines. We've got two green die representing the artillery and infantry division from Japan, and two blue dice representing the two fighter units from Japan. And there's two hits, so two infantry units are eliminated from the U.S., but they get to return fire, and they will with two green dice. And no hits. So they're eliminated, and we'll put these back, and the Philippines are now in the possession of Japan. Our next battle will take place in Kwangtung. We've got one transport from Sea Zone 62 traveling down with one infantry and one artillery, dropping them off into Kwangtung. And we've got, they're being supported in this battle by the fighter from Formosa, attacking one infantry division from the UK. Okay, so we're not even going to set this up since there's only one defending unit this time again. So we've got one infantry, one artillery, and one fighter. So we've got two green dice and one blue die going up against one, well, we'll just have to roll those first. So here's the attack, Kwangtung. We've got two hits. So the infantry division from UK has been eliminated, but they get to return fire. And it's a miss. Okay, so Kwangtung, again, now in possession of Japan. So next, the next battle will be for Fujian. We've got a fighter from Japan traveling 1, 2, 3 spaces to support two infantry, one coming from Kiangsu and one coming from French Indochina. So we've got two Japanese infantry and one fighter going up against one U.S. infantry division. Okay, so we'll roll this die. We've got these dice. We've got two black, two black representing the Japanese infantry, one blue representing the Japanese fighter, and one green dice representing the U.S. infantry. So we can roll all this at one time. Okay, so no hits by the Japanese and one hit by the U.S. So one infantry division has been lost by the Japanese. They're going to press this attack on. And they're going to roll. We got one blue die for the Japanese and one black, and then we've got one green for the U.S. And wow, so and I'm sorry, I think I'm saying U.S. in this battle. I mean to be saying China. Apologize. So, the Japanese just lost their second infantry unit. So, what will happen here is that battle we're going to retreat, and that fighter unit will for retreat in the non-combat phase. All right, so for the next battle, we've got 3 infantry from Manchuria coming down to Suiyang, going up against 1 Chinese infantry division. Okay, so we're getting ready to roll this one. So we got 3 black dice representing 1 hit for the Japanese and 1 green dice representing the infantry division for China, defending it 2. We roll all those together. And 1 infantry division for Japan has been eliminated. Brother Joe, you want to press the attack? We're going to press on. So 2 infantry divisions for Japan and 1 defending for China. No hits. He's going to continue on. Another infantry division from Japan has been eliminated. So we decided now to retreat back to Manchuria. We'll do that in our non-combat move. And our one last combat maneuver is going to be in Hupei. We've got 1 fighter for Manchuria, so we have 2 moves left after the battle, assuming he survives. And the way it's been going here in China, I'm not sure he will. And 2 infantry, and 2 infantry from Kiangsu, going up against another single infantry, Chinese infantry division. All right, so here's the rolls for this battle. We've got 2 black dice for the Japanese infantry. We've got 1 blue dice for the Japanese fighter, and we've got 1 green die for the Chinese infantry. So we can roll all those at one time. And the fighter hits and eliminates the Chinese infantry division. But the Chinese infantry also gets a hit and eliminates 1 Japanese. Okay, so for our non-combat moves, the fighters that battled in Hawaii have 2 moves left in their gas gauge, so they're going to go and they're going to land on one of the carriers. The 2 fighters that battled in the Philippines are also going to return to the carrier off the coast of the Philippines. The fighter in the Battle of Kwangtung is going to return to Kiangsu. The fighter from Fujian is going to also return to Kiangsu. Because the fighter from Kwangtung had 2 movements left and the fighter from Fujian had 1. And then the fighter in Hupei is going to go 2 spaces, 1, 2, back down to French Indochina. The infantry division that needed to retreat from Suiyang is going to go back into Manchuria. Okay, to summarize where the Japanese units are, we've got 1 infantry division in Manchuria. We've got 2 fighters in Kiangsu. We've got 1 infantry division in Hupei. We have 1 infantry and 1 artillery in Kwangtung. We have 1 fighter in French Indochina along with 2 infantry. We have 2 infantry units in Borneo with a transport in C-Zone 49. We have 1 transport in C-Zone 61. Off the coast of the Philippines, we have 1 transport, 1 damaged battleship, 1 carrier with 2 fighters, 1 cruiser. On the Philippine Islands, we have 1 infantry and 1 artillery. We have 1 infantry division in Okinawa. We have 1 infantry division in Iwo Jima. We have 1 infantry division in the Caroline Islands with a transport off the coast in C-Zone 46. We have 2 carriers off the coast of Hawaii with 3 fighters, and stationed on Hawaii, we have 1 infantry division, and there's also a transport off the coast in C-Zone 53. And finally, in Japan, we have two armor units, 3 infantry, 1 bomber, 1 factory, and 1 AA gun. Okay, so for the collect income phase here, Japan is at 26, and they met all 3 of their national objectives, which are control Manchuria, Kiangsu, and French Indochina. So 5 for that. We've got 5 for controlling at least 4 of Kwangtung and Borneo and the Philippines and the Solomons, and collect 5 more for controlling the Hawaiian Islands. So that means their total income should be sitting at 41. Okay, so placing our new units now. Obviously the bomber and the armor division will go down into Japan. And we'll make our adjustments for our income now. Sorry, LT, if we're not doing that as we go along. We're kind of summarizing at the end here. But Japan gained 1 for Hawaii, 4 for Borneo, 2 for the Philippines, 1 for Kwangtung, and 1 for Hupei. So that was a total of 9. So they moved from 17 to 26 on our income tracker. China lost 1, but they obviously are not tracked here on our income chart. The UK lost 5, so they moved down from 43 to 38, and the US lost 3, Hawaii and the Philippines. So they moved from 40 down to 37. So that concludes our J1 round for this evening. So from the turret in Goldsboro, North Carolina, Captain Jack and Private Joe saying over and out.